What is going on YouTube? Jay here from MJ Tech. Today in this video we're going to be trying the brand new Potensic Dreamer 4K GPS drone that I got from Amazon with the Prime service. So here in the USA it took about 2 days to arrive, so that was fairly quickly. Some places it takes just a day depending on what time you order it. And this drone is considered I would say a higher scale drone because of the fact that we have a true 2K recording camera and a true 4K picture camera. So when it comes to the quality of the camera itself, it's pretty impressive. It comes with brushless motors and it has a 31-minute lasting battery. Yes, 31-minute lasting battery. So that's really cool. If you guys look at the box here, well, we can notice that it is quite simple all the way around. On the back side here we have the top side of the drone, and that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and jump right into what you guys want to see, which is the unboxing of this video. And I'm going to focus mainly on the setup and the calibration process on this video. And if you guys want on a separate video, I can focus on just the recording, but I will still show you guys the recording. All the timestamps will be provided down below just for your convenience. So getting a look here inside of the box, we have a little divider where we find a thank you card, and we also have some manuals on here with a QR code to download the app and some quick start guides, so on and so forth. So this is important stuff. And here comes the drone. Check that out. Now a lot of people from several videos that I've seen have complained that, well, this is not a 3-axis gimbal. It is just a standard one little motor gimbal here, which just goes up and down. It doesn't really provide stabilization. We have these mounts right here that helps it, but you guys will see later exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the stabilization. But now the pictures and overall the video, if it's not too windy outside, it's actually quite impressive for just a $260 drone. So inside of the box here, we also have some other accessories, and they look just like this. So right in here we have the charger and the power cord. We get a USB cable for the remote, very nice. We have the props, and it comes with 2 spare ones. We get the battery, which is a 3000 milliamp battery, and a transmitter. Pretty easy. And inside we have nothing else. So let me go ahead and set the box aside and jump into the setup. So now to get started here with the Potensic Dreamer, the first thing you want to do is read the manuals. This is very important. Every drone has their own little way of being set up and calibrated. So again, very important that you guys use the manuals and read them. So here we have a little quick start guide where basically it's giving you a QR code to download the application for iOS and also Android, and very easy to follow application. Then it tells you how to install the props, and it tells you here what's the password for the Wi-Fi, which is by default 1234567 Very easy to follow. And then towards the back here is telling you how to set up the remote. So I'm going to try to simplify this the best way possible. So here we have the drone. We get the little power cord. All you have to do is connect it to the charger itself, and then you plug this part to the battery. This connector right here, you connect this to the battery, which is right over here, and it goes on like so. So you're gonna have the open side and the block side right here. Just make sure that the open side is facing up, and then you will connect it like this and then plug it into the wall. And here it has some battery indicators. It'll tell you when the battery is fully charged. Now this is a smart battery as well, and by the way, here we have the specifications of this battery, and it is a 17.4 volts, and it says rated voltage 15.2 volts, and it is a 3000 milliamp battery. Again, a smart one. So here basically tells you, if you just quick press it, it'll tell you the battery level, and if you hold and press it for about 3 seconds, it'll actually turn on the drone, which is really cool. So again, you plug it in, and that's how you get the battery charged. And then we have here the transmitter, which also requires for it to be charged. For this, you remove this little flap towards the bottom side. I gotta admit, it is a little bit annoying sticking your nail in there, and it's kind of hard to get it out. But once you do, we have the micro USB port right here towards the bottom side. All you have to do is connect the provided USB cable and then connect it to any wall outlet. You can use your smartphone wall outlet. Any 5-volt 2 amp should work just fine. And then here you have the little LED indicator. It'll tell you when it's fully charged. Now, unfortunately, if I quick press it, it doesn't tell me the battery, the battery percentage here. You have to actually turn it on. And now we can see that it is in fact fully charged. And so there we have it for the charging instructions. So the next thing you want to do after having the transmitter and the battery charge is to, first of all, you want to install the props. So for the props, they actually are very nicely labeled. We have the ones that say CW. CW stands for clockwise. And then we have the ones that say CCW, that's counterclockwise. So then here on the drone itself, towards the top side, you guys can barely see it because it's the same color as the plastic here, but you can see right there the symbol CW. And then on the other side, it says here CW. I don't know if you guys can see that right there. So then all you have to do is follow the symbol. So this is a CW, and some of them will install by twisting it clockwise or counterclockwise. I believe this is clockwise, so it will install counterclockwise. So you push it in, it is a spring tension. You press it in and then turn it to the left, and now we will do the same here with the other one. And with this one, you're just gonna press it in like so and then go towards the right, and this is for the counterclockwise. So basically, if it rotates to the left, you're gonna here move it towards the right. So this one rotates to the right, so you're gonna move it towards the left, and that's how it gets installed. Very easy, and it makes it so that in case you break a prop, very easy to exchange, very nice. And finally, you go ahead and install the battery. So now, after completing those simple steps, the next thing you want to do is evaluate your drone. On the front here, we have the little Dreamer logo when you turn it on. Here is the 2K recording resolution camera, 4K for photos, and this has a Sony sensor inside. And if you look here, you can actually move this with your hands. And on top of the camera, we have a little SD card slot. And on here, you have to insert your SD card for recording purposes. I will recommend a 32 gigabyte minimum. And on the back side, we know already the little slot here for the battery. And on top, we just have the Potensic logo. And here we can see the brushless motors. Very nice, good quality motors, and they are a little bit noisy, I would say, more than other drones that I've seen in the past or that I've tested in the past. We do have this little mesh for ventilation purposes, so that the board inside can get a little bit of air. And that's pretty much it, guys, for what we get here with the Potensic Dreamer 4K. The next thing we want to do now is, of course, grab our smartphone, and you will download the application. As I mentioned before, you can scan this QR code, or you can simply go here to your app store and search for Potensic Pro. That's the application. All we do after downloading this application is that we have to turn on the drone. Now here we have the transmitter. The transmitter comes with two antennas, and this antenna is the only functional one. I know this because inside here there's only one wire going through this antenna. This antenna doesn't have any wires whatsoever, so this is mainly done so that, you know, it is, I guess, so that it matches with the other side, I'm assuming. So here we have the home key. This is the takeoff key. We have the sports mode, which basically allows you to fly a little bit faster. We have the power key. We have the two little levers. Now, if you guys notice here, they are missing the tips, and that's because we have them on the upper side of the remote. I've seen some videos out there where people couldn't figure this out, and you had to take them off of that little compartment, and then you will install them. Make sure you put the cap back on. Very nice. And here we have it. Voila, now it is fully assembled. To get your smartphone in, you simply flip the antennas upwards, and if you guys look, it stretches to the side. So all you do is place your smartphone like so, and that's pretty much it. So again, very easy setup. It makes it a little bit wide depending on how big your smartphone is. I have the iPhone 11 Pro Max, so that's a little big. On the back here, we have the dedicated photo button, and then we have this one which appears to be for settings, but I never really used this one. Then we have two wheels. One is to move the camera up and down, and the other one serves for another purpose, but for this particular drone, I think that it really doesn't. So again, one is for the camera to move it up and down. The other one is just there for the looks. And that's really all we have here for the remote. So now what we do is always turn on the transmitter first. Do not start turning on the drone, because that could cause for the drone to have interference and start flying all over the place. Okay, so now as you guys can tell, we have the drone and the transmitter turned on. So now you go back here into your smartphone. Let me unlock it. We go here into settings and we go into Wi-Fi. So now on Wi-Fi, we will find here the one that says Potensic. There we go. And initially you have to enter the passcode, like I told you guys before, which is 123456778. And once you do so, it'll connect. Once connected, now you can exit settings and go here to the application and click on enter device. Okay, so there we have it. Now we got here the camera is showing up right now. So if I move it around, you guys can easily tell right here that it's working. It says connected, but right now we are inside of a room here, so unfortunately it doesn't it will lock a signal eventually, but it takes a little bit longer. One of the first things you want to do right out of the box is to calibrate the compass. Okay, this application is very similar to what we have seen in the past. So down here we have the distance, we have the height, and it tells you in meters. Okay, so that's very cool. We got settings here for the camera. Okay, you can format your SD card directly from here. You can change the way the camera looks directly from here as well. So there's video segmentation, resolution ratio, which I have it by default. It goes on 2.7K at 30 frames per second, and you have 2K 30 frames per second. Me personally, I prefer the higher frame rate, so I go 1080p 60 frames per second. It is much easier for you guys to simply edit this video after you have taken it. So there we have it for the camera settings. And now if we click on these on the upper right hand side on these three little dots, this will allow you to calibrate your drone. So right now we have here by default on the very top here, we have a little picture or a little icon of the drone, and it says beginner mode. Right here, if you turn this on, it'll change how far you can fly and how high. So if you are a true beginner, I would definitely recommend this for you guys. Then here, the next setting we have is for the calibration that I mentioned before. All you have to do is follow the instructions on the screen. So if I click on start and I click here on start again, you will notice how the light pattern changed here for the drone. And by the way, on the bottom here, we have the two green lights on the front, and we have the two red lights towards the back. So what we have to do is move it clockwise about 3 times until the screen tells you to do otherwise. So right now here, you guys can see that the screen is telling me to place it upwards and to turn it a few times. So you're gonna do just that. Just turn it clockwise about 3 times, and then it will say this. It will say magnetic calibration complete. It just disappeared here, and now you are basically ready to take off. Then we have here for the transmitter, you can change the way these levers work. So you got model 1, which is the basic one. This goes up, down, left, right. And then you have model 2, which is basically the same but the opposite. So now the left side goes forward, backwards, left and right, and this one goes up and down, right, and turn to the left. So it basically just converts it. Very easy to see that. And then here we have the battery information. Okay, smart battery information. And that's really all we have here, guys, for settings. The rest here on the upper right hand side corner, we can see the satellites that have locked, which is 10 for the GPS. And that's pretty much it. We got here the maps, and the application is really easy and straightforward. Once everything has been connected and calibrated here with the transmitter, to activate the motors is quite simple. All you need to do is move these two levers towards the bottom middle, and that will activate the motors. Let me give you that demo right now. There we go. And to take off, just press this button here for about 2 seconds, I would say 2 or 3 seconds, and your drone will take off automatically. To land, you can just hold it for another 3 seconds and it'll land again. But this is only if you haven't flown higher than it did when you pressed the button. If you did, then you had to select the return to home feature so that it returns to its original position. So again, very easy to do. Now, me personally, talking now about the flight, when I was out there in the field, it did a great job recording, and it had, I would say, somewhat great range when it came to the FPV. This is Wi-Fi power, by the way. So between the drone and the smartphone, after around 100 meters or so, I started getting some glitches, but you can still fly the drone, and it goes quite a distance. I didn't take it to its max. At that time, we had people in the park, and I didn't want to cause any accidents where this thing crashed or something happened and maybe somebody got injured. So I was just playing it very safe. But in the future, that's why I said that in this particular video, I'm just going to give you a short overview of what this looks like and what to expect. But if you guys want me to test this to the limit, you can let me know down below and request it, and I will do a separate video taking this thing to the limits. For the price, you guys can't deny the fact that it looks very good. The camera quality could improve maybe in the future with a 3-axis gimbal, and I mean a true 3-axis gimbal, not just a little cheap, I don't know, electronic whatever here that they have with one single motor. That's the only downside of this drone. Other than that, when it comes to the stability, the GPS positioning, it was absolutely excellent. Every time I let go of the remote, it would just stay there steady. It didn't drag, which is a very common problem on any affordable drones, especially the ones that claim that they have, you know, amazing specifications. You really have to try them out because some of them are not so great. They have drags, the wind kind of messes it up, and it's a big headache. Trust me, guys, I have dealt with a lot of drones in the past, and that's a very common problem. But here with the Potensic Dreamer 4K, that was not an issue. I did also tested the return to home feature. That worked well. I didn't have, because again, like I said before, there were people at the park. I couldn't really test the orbit mode or the circle mode, what they call it. And also I couldn't set points of interest, something that I wanted to test. And also there were a lot of electrical posts because it was mainly a football field and not really a full park or an open place where I could really fly it. So for that reason, I was kind of limited. But let me tell you guys, for the little time that I flew this thing and for the times that I've flown it outside of the video, I gotta say that this thing is absolutely worth it. When it comes to the photos, it has a technology to where it kind of takes many pictures at the same time, and then it tries to find the one that had the best focus, which is a really nice feature. And if you guys look here closely, let me show you real quick. I'm going to, for now, just turn off here the application. We have a very nice little Dreamer logo that comes on when you turn on the drone itself, and it has a weight to it. This thing, I would say, it's almost a pound or so, maybe a little more. It has a weight to it, so it definitely feels very nice and solid. I don't have any complaints when it comes to the build quality. And like I said, guys, out there in the field, it did a very good job. I was able to move the camera several times up and down, and that was working great. But now it was a windy day and it was about to rain, so when I was trying to get it stabilized, as you can tell, the video didn't really look that great. It did a good job fighting the wind, but not having that gimbal made the video look a little bit shaky. And it wasn't the best just because of that reason. So there we have it, guys, for the unboxing, the setup tutorial, and the little short review of the Potensic Dreamer 4K. Like I said before, let me know down below if you guys want more details about how this thing functions and other things you can do with it, including that orbit mode, maybe points of interest. If you guys want to see all that working, I can make a separate video for you, so that way we can just focus on the things that you really want to see. Let me know down below. I have to say that for $260, and maybe now through the holidays, it's probably gonna get even cheaper. I gotta say, it is something to consider. It is definitely well built. It flies very nicely, and overall, I don't have any complaints whatsoever, except for that gimbal being missing. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more, click on that bell icon, and I'll see you guys on my next one.